don't know if you all are familiar with this guy. He has a YouTube channel. He has a few, but he has targeted the truther community, and he has scammed a lot of people out of a lot of money for the past few months. So I just wanted to bring him up. I've made videos about him in the past, just not directly, sort of indirectly, because people would attack me when they figured out who I was talking about, because he's developed this sort of cult, this sort of group of followers that just almost worship this guy. And it's ridiculous. I mean, this guy literally has a pentagram on his face. Now, I know people can have tattoos and change and whatever. I understand that. But this guy, I can see right through him, and I don't know why most people can't. I started watching this guy, I don't know, maybe a year ago, a little longer than that. He was working at a body shop. He seemed relatable. He was a hard worker then, seemed like. But then I started finding things out about him. And, he was, talking truth-related stuff, what was going on in the world. 2020-ish, when all that was going on. But anyway, then I started finding out some things about him. Like, for one, he has 5 children, and he was living in his in-laws' basement for like 10 years. And I found that to be kind of weird, because dude was making bank at this job, a lot more money than I make. And I couldn't understand why he was, living in a basement, such small area, quarters with 5 children for 10 years. And it wasn't even his house, it was his in-laws' house. So that tells you a lot about a person right there. Well, then, a little time goes by, and you can tell this dude is doing something when he's doing his videos. Like, he was high, really high, like methed out high, like speeded up. He says he was doing cocaine. Who knows what he was doing? Later on, he did admit to his drug use and everything, but then his drug usage led to him copping a felony charge at his job that he lost. And then he starts asking for donations because he's broke, and that's his excuse, because he lost his job, and he just copped this felony charge, and he's got 5 kids, and, he wanted everybody to feel sorry for him, and he started using the Lord and starting, to use God and all that to get what he wanted. Well, it turns out, he's got this group of followers that just... Man, they paid for every trip this man made to skip town on his felony charge. They literally aided and abetted this guy, and they don't even understand what they've done. He came out with sob stories, crying and stuff, how, he didn't have any cigarettes. He sold everything he had to buy his drugs. It was just ridiculous. And all this man ever knew how to get food with was an EBT card. He didn't pay hardly any rent. He didn't have any bills. Whatever. He was able to get a new car, and actually lost it, and a subscriber paid for him to get his car back. And I'm assuming other subscribers, or maybe the same one, continued to pay his car payment, because I just don't see him paying his car payment. Anyway, he took his whole family, 5 people in total, without a dime of his own, to Missouri the first time, in the name of his mother was dying, okay? He come out with this big sob story about his mother was dying, and he had to get down there to see her, and he had no money. So, here's another sad sob story. Everybody started giving him money, so he took, his whole family on a vacation. They didn't go straight down to see his mother. They stopped here, they stopped there, they, stayed in motel rooms that other people paid for. Just everybody bought their gas. They were just having a fine time. And then, as a matter of fact, he spent like a week there and didn't even see his mother. Claimed that she got airlifted to a hospital at the last minute, and he didn't get to see her, and came, it's just another story. So then he decides, well, I'm going to make everybody think that I'm going to start this community, and I'm just going to make another trip to Missouri and get my family down there, and pretty much was demanding on videos, demanding money to get his family to Missouri. Like it was somebody else's responsibility to do this.
Our conclusions and stuff, and I'm really looking forward to that.
And it just makes me sick because this guy made 4 trips to Missouri on everybody else's dime, running from a felony, ended up taking 2 of his kids down there with him, still begging and borrowing. I think so far he's gathered, without paying for a dime of any motels, any gas money, any food money, absolutely nothing. 4 trips to Missouri and got 2 of his kids down there. Managed to get a free camper, a couple of dogs thrown at him, free groceries, free propane, anything this dude needed, including his cigarettes, his dope, whatever he's doing, was paid for by his little group of followers. And he's still doing this, still making people believe that he's going to start some sort of community. I'm sure, maybe he would if it's on your dime. But people just cannot see through this guy. He is just the biggest POS on YouTube I think I've ever seen. He's not leading people to the Lord. He'll say things like, I'm going to do a Bible study. And he's not going to break the Bible out and do a Bible study. All this man is going to do is talk about himself, because that's all he's ever done, is talk about himself. If you haven't noticed yet, he loves to look at himself and talk about himself and take your money. He's a taker. And how anybody could take in 2 dogs that can't take care of themselves or their children, I just don't understand. But then, he couldn't sleep after he got the dogs. So, the damn dogs had to go. The damn dogs have to go. And I don't know what happened to them. I really don't. Doesn't matter. All I know is there's about 20 or 30 people being scammed out of money pretty much on a daily basis from this guy for the past 3 or 4 months. And if you say anything about it, you will be attacked. And they actually think this guy is trying to follow the Lord in his little cult. I actually had one of his ex-followers contact me, and we got in this big conversation about it yesterday, about what's been going on with him and everything. I don't watch all of his videos. I'm not a stalker. He calls everybody haters, that say anything about what he's doing. I'm not a hater. I'm just an observer who can see right the forest through the trees. I've been around people like this my entire life. I just like to warn people. But, people, it's their money. They can do what they want to with it. But I just want to throw it out there that this dude is never going to give back. He's never going to build any community. He's just going to keep on taking, if you haven't noticed by now.